One of the really great features about Seis Brace is we allow you to calculate your seismic coefficient C sub P three different ways. First of all, we let you have the opportunity to just enter one. If you have a jurisdiction that has a prescriptive one where they say you shall use 0.75 as an example, we have that in there. We also have a second way, which is probably the most common, where you've determined your S sub S value, as a typical one might be, say, 1.5, and I enter 1.5, and we calculate a zero point 0.7. And that comes right from the NFPA table, and this is from the 2016 edition of 93593, where it says for this particular S sub S, you shall use a C sub P of zero point 0.7. However, that table comes from the actual calculation requirements of ASCE 7. ASCE 7 is another way to calculate it. Within NFPA, there's also 93594, which says you can use the calculation. The calculation is this formula. It's a little intimidated, a little complicated, but essentially that formula is used with worst case scenarios to determine these seismic coefficients. So by answering three simple questions, what type of dirt you have, how high is your building? As an example, I use a 100-foot high building, and I'll say my bracing is at the top of my 100-foot high building. You can see I get the same C sub P seismic coefficient of 0.7. However, if I know more about my project, if I know, for instance, my project is on hard rock instead of soil, I can lower my seismic coefficient to 0.56. Or what if I knew where my bracing was in my building? It wasn't at the top in the worst case. It was, say, halfway up the building. I can now lower my seismic coefficient to a 0.37. By going from a 0.37, from a 0.7 to a 0.37, I essentially have half of my seismic force. And that's going to allow me to have twice as large of a zone of influence, twice as much pipe within it, and use half the number of braces. This is a tremendous tool. It's utilizing just the parameters of NFPA 13. It's the same in 16. It's in the 2019 edition, and it's even in the 2022 edition. So if you'd like more information on this, please try using our software or reach out for support. Thanks.